Hey, this is Scott from Simple Musician Academy, and I want to thank you for checking out this video. Look, if you can, real quickly for us, if you're enjoying these videos that we're bringing to you, could you go down there to the bottom and give us some thumbs up? But also, if you could you subscribe to our channel? Listen, it helps us, but also what it does is it keeps you connected to everything that we're putting out. And by the way, make sure you follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and on X. And also make sure you go over to simplemusicianacademy.com and you check out all of the courses that we have and all of the material that we provide on our website. Look, you are our best advertisement. So if you are enjoying what we're doing and you like the way we teach and deliver this musical education, please, please, please recommend us to your friends and your family. We appreciate it. Hey there, Scott here with Simple Musician Academy. Hey, listen, so today I'm going to bring you probably one of the most simplest piano worship songs that you can do. Yeah, it is Amazing Grace. Now listen, Amazing Grace is a great hymn. However, the version I'm going to teach you is a version that's done by Chris Tomlin, and it's called Amazing Grace, My Chains Are Gone. I love this one because it kind of has like some new life to the old hymn, and it's a very simple version. So let's get started. So in this version, I'm going to teach it to you a couple of ways. The first way that we're gonna work on it is I'm going to teach it to you in the simplicity of just using intervals, okay? Now, hopefully you've done your interval lesson, and so now you're able to kind of jump into this. Intervals, a little bit simpler because with intervals, we're not using 3 notes to build the chord. We're kind of keeping the chord open when we're using intervals. And I will tell you, when you're learning something in a very easy form, intervals are a great way. So you're going to find this to be like the most simplistic way to learn this song. And then I'm going to show it to you to where you can also add in the chord to it and how that kind of embellishes the song a little bit more to it. All right? So let's get started with it. Now, the first thing I want to show you is we're going to be using a chord chart. And again, we have a lesson that talks about chord charts and how they work. So if you haven't gone through those, it might be a great time to just kind of pause and go through that chord chart lesson. But this is what we're going to use today in this. Chord charts, man, the first time I ever got introduced to them was when I started doing worship for church. And now you see them in a lot of things, but they're super, super common. So anyways, we're going to be using this chord chart. This chord chart, you're going to notice in the verse, you've got your line, you've got what your lyrical lines are, and then right above them is going to be where your chords are placed. This particular song, we're going to be playing it in the key of C. So it might be good that you kind of brush up on your C scale and know how that kind of works, okay? So in this song, let's identify real quick what common chords it looks like are going to show up. The C major chord, which is the root chord, is gonna be in this song. We're gonna have the F chord, which is known as the 4 chord, and it's a major chord. It's gonna also be in this song. We're also gonna have the 5 chord, which is G. So far we're gonna have C, F, and G major chord in this particular song. Then in the chorus, we're actually going to use 1 minor chord, and that minor chord is going to be the D minor chord, which, by the way, is the 2 minor in the key of C, okay? So those are the 4 chords that are going to show up, are going to be used in this song, all right? So here we go. So let's first just talk about the song and how we're going to actually do these intervals. We're going to start with the interval of C and G, and I'm going to make it super simplified down here in my hand just so you can kind of see it. The interval we're going to start with is that C and G right there, okay? And this is what we're going to use in the verse, okay? Then when we go to the F interval, all we're going to do is we're going to move our pinky over to the F right next to it, and we're going to keep that C in the same place. So that's going to be our F interval. And this is for our F chord, okay? And then when we go to the G is going to be very simple, because all we're going to do is we're going to pick up both of those fingers and slide them up one position to the D and the G. Okay? Perfect. So let's just walk through this verse, all right? So we're going to start with our C interval. Here we go. We're going to go, amazing grace, how, and then when we go to sweet, we're going to go to the F. How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Come on, pat yourself on the back, man, right out of the gate. There you go. Just the right hand. So let's try that again. 1, 2, ready, go. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Awesome. Now we're going to add one more thing to it. Now we're going to take in the left hand and we're going to play the root note of what those chords are, okay? Now you're going to notice on the Amazing Grace, on that first C, we're going to play the C with that C interval, okay? But then when we get to How Sweet, it's going to be an F over C. And when we have an F over C, the C still stays the same in the left hand, but then we change our interval, okay, to that F, okay? So if you notice, it goes back to that C and then the G. And when it comes to the G, you can go to the lower G or you could go to the higher G of that octave, okay? It's really up to you. It's kind of your choice. And then when we go to I Once Was Lost, we're going to have our C interval. I once was, when we get to lost, we're going to do what's called a walk-up note, okay? And that is going to be, we're going to keep that C interval, but then we're going to move our bass note in our left hand to an E. Yeah, listen to that. How pretty is that? And then that'll take us to our F. Was now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. There you go. So let's try it together now. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Great job. Pat yourself on the back. All right, so now let's take a look at this chorus, okay? This chorus is going to go like this. Right out of the gate, we're going to do this lead-in note to My Chains Are Gone. So that's a lead-in line that's going to happen because we're walking into what the downbeat of the count is, okay? So with that being said, when we hit that chain, when we sing that chains, we're going to actually use, again, that C over E. My chains are gone. My chains are gone. I've been set free. Okay, now let's take a look here, because one of the things that you're going to notice in this is that we're going to use that C over E several times, okay? And one of the things that I think sounds really good in this particular song when we're doing the chorus, especially doing it this way, instead of doing an interval of a C that is a fifth, one. So again, remember your fifth is going to be, if we start from C and we go up, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to G, that's our fifth interval, okay? So instead of doing a fifth interval of C, what I'm going to recommend is us doing a third interval on some of these, okay? So like when we start, my chains are gone, my chains are gone, my chains are... I'm starting with that fifth interval on the first chains. My chains are gone. There's the F. I've been set. Then all I'm going to do is I'm going to go to that C with a third interval. So I'm moving the F over to the E. I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. And like a flood, His mercy reigns, unending. And then when we get to unending, we're going to do that D minor. So the D minor interval is going to look like this. We're going to go a D, and we're going to use an F. We're going to do the third interval of it, okay? Unending love. Okay, now your chart says a G sus. We're not going to worry about the sus right now. What we're going to focus more on is the G. Amazing. There you go. There is our G interval. Amazing. And then we're going to finish with our C fifth interval. Okay. Amazing grace. All right. So come on, let's walk through this chorus together. Here we go. Starting from the beginning of the chorus. 1, 2, 3. My chains are gone. Now, let's pause right there real quick before we go any further. Notice how quick that transition happens from my chains are gone. Okay, it's a very quick move. My chains are gone. Okay. It happens kind of fast there, so you want to be able to get that transition good, okay? All right, let's go back to the beginning of that chorus and let's do it together now. 1, 2, 3. My chains are gone. I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. And like a flood, His mercy reigns. Now to that D minor, unending love. To the G, amazing grace. Yes, way to go. Excellent job. Come on, pat yourself on the back. So listen, if you need to do that a couple of times, pause it here pause it here. If you need to, roll back just a little bit so I can do it with you. Either way. But go ahead and give that a couple of run-throughs and get that comfortable, and then let's go all the way through it. All right, so here we go. From the verse, we're going to go from the verse to the chorus. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Here goes the chorus. My chains are gone. I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. And like a flood, his mercy reigns. Unending love, amazing grace. Excellent job. Come on, applaud yourself. Man, that is great. All right. So listen, so now let's take it just a step further. Let's put a little bit of a rhythm into this. Let's put a little bit of a pulse to it. So here's what we're going to do next. We're going to take these intervals and we're going to do a quarter note count rhythm to them, okay? So what our pulse is, we're going to actually do that with our right hand with the chords. So let's just try that together. Let's take the C interval, okay? And let's just do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Listen to that, okay? See how that sounds? Okay, and one of the things I'll recommend to you is if you have your pedal hooked up, use your pedal. Remember, if you haven't looked through the pedal lesson, you really should. However, if you haven't done that yet, then don't worry about this. But this is a great time to use that pedal with this song, okay? All right, so let's try this. Now, let's rock, let's bounce that count when we're doing these chords, okay? And we'll do that all the way through. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. Here we go, my chorus. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. And like a flood, his mercy reigns. Unending love, amazing grace. Come on, excellent job. Look at you, you're sounding like a pro. Man, at this point, your church is going to be hiring you to lead worship. Awesome. See how simple that is? All right. So now I want to take this a little bit further. Let's now add the chord structures into this. So if we were to do the chord structures, all we're doing is we're adding in now the third into many of these intervals that we've been playing, okay? So let's take a look at it. Our C chord, our C major chord, okay? Now, there's a couple of ways we could do this. We could play these chords in the root position. Some of these chords we could actually do inversions. However, if you haven't done your inversions lessons yet, then we're not going to push going there just yet with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do these chords all in the root position, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play the C major, and it looks like that. And then we're going to pick up to go to our F, and then we'll come back to what our C is. And then our G, there's our G chord, then we'll come back to our C, okay? And then, when we get to the chorus, if you notice, this is where that minor happens. The minor is only going to be a C major position, and we're just going to slide him up one note. Okay? See how that works? Literally, that position just slides up one note. You're going to the very next white note. You just kind of push him over a bit. All right? Okay, so let's try that. We're going to take it together. Let's do it once through with just the chords. Don't even worry about the left hand. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, For amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Now to the chorus. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. And like a flood, His mercy reigns. Here's the D minor, unending love, amazing grace. Awesome. Good job. All right. So now let's put our left hand into that, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Here we go. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. And like a flood, His mercy reigns. Unending love, amazing grace. Good job. Man, you should be very proud of yourself. Very simple, very easy. Come on. So listen, great job learning that song, one of your first ones. Definitely get this one in your repertoire to play around with. Go show it off to your family and to your friends. Catch you in the next video. Again, we want to thank you for checking out our video. Make sure, again, you go down and you give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe to us.